what Front Street Lahaina looks like on Saturday, August 12th, 2023. You can see this fire was absolutely devastating. It burned everything. There's aluminum and glass melted everywhere in the street. And this is where, what I'm told is over 100 people, according to the Coast Guard, jumped in the water right around here. Here's a video I took yesterday on Friday, August 11th, 2023, walking towards downtown Lahaina, Front Street, the main Front Street. I was too exhausted at the time to speak and do a voiceover live, and I could not live stream. So I'm just going to talk over this a little bit, and you guys can watch a 5-minute video of pretty much just raw footage walking down the street and what it's like right now. I would not recommend that people come down here for a few different reasons. There is definitely still a pretty strong smell in the air. The workers that I've seen who are trying to sift through the rubble and presumably looking for bodies and that type of thing, I mean, they have pretty serious masks on. And aside from that, you know, there have been reports of looting and civil unrest. I mean, I saw, you know, a few kind of rough-looking people when I was down here, but I mean, nothing happened. But it might be a good idea to stay out of here for the time being. And you can see over there, you know, there was multi-million-dollar beachfront houses were lost. You know, I know every house on Maui nowadays is almost every house is going to be over $1 million, but there were houses that were probably, you know, 10 million that were lost beachside here. And my point of mentioning that is really just I've heard a lot of people speaking about the fact that a lot of the more low-income neighborhoods were impacted by this, but really everybody was. There were certainly affluent people on the beach that lost everything as well, and there are many businesses, I mean, steel structures, the outlet mall. I mean, pretty much nobody that was in the path of this fire escaped unscathed. And you know, there's a lot of things that are going to have to be rebuilt. It's going to take years. And looking at, I think, footage of this and footage before this happened, and then footage 10 years from now to see what becomes of this place is going to be interesting. So all of my neighbors and I are interested in what the news actually is, because we don't have access to the internet, not cellular, not cable internet. We don't have TV. We do have the radio, but for whatever reason, the radio out here continues to just mainly play music. I've heard very few broadcasts of news, and I don't know if that's just my timing of listening to it, but there's really been very little information. Anyway, here we are coming up on the main Front Street. That little bit of building that is still standing on the left side there is where the outlet mall was, and this is where Front Street meets the ocean. This is kind of the northern little strip where of the area where the tourists would walk. And this is also, from my understanding and from what the Coast Guard has said, where over 100 people jumped into the water to save themselves from the fire. And unfortunately, you know, not all of them made it. I don't know what the numbers are at this stage, but I would expect that with, you know, just as with any disaster of this magnitude, the numbers are going to continue to go up. But it's obviously going to be a long time before the dust settles, before people really even have a full understanding of what happened here. Anyway, guys, I'm going to do my best. Dust settles before people really even have a full understanding of what happened here. Anyway, guys, I'm going to do my best to keep bringing you the real story, unfiltered, of what's actually going on the ground here. I know it's been a long time since I've posted much on TikTok, but I really only spend any time here when I have something to show you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.
Back to Front Street, and there were all the cars were lined up, but none of them were moving. And I walked all the way from Safeway to the chart house. Not one car had moved. And I was wondering what was stopping the traffic. Well, it was a policeman. And I got to the end and I looked up north. There were no obstructions. There was no reason to keep those cars there.
Are you serious?
I'm serious as a heart attack. And I said, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm under orders to keep them here. And I said, the fire is right around Safeway. It's going to hit Front Street. You know, these people got to get out of here. And he said, I'm following orders.
No way.
And so I just kept walking. Well, maybe he knows something I don't, you know. So, and I keep walking down the highway, and I look behind, no cars are coming out. I walked all the way to Waikuli Beach, still no cars coming out. And I started hearing boom, boom, boom. And then I heard people screaming and stuff.
When you see mostly fatalities and very few injuries, that tells you it was a natural disaster. When you see mostly fatalities and very few injuries, that tells you it was a natural disaster.
For the most part, yeah. It's a little dirty. I have my keys in the other car.
Parked here the whole time.
Yeah?
And everything around here parked out.
Except for my car. How's this going? But my car's okay!
That's my tiny house, the one that's standing.
Oh, jeez.
He's like got no one around him. He's
No.
there.
I'm going to...
What was this, your house here?
This is the house. So I come up here, here's the front door. Come in the front door, yeah. That's the front door right there. And then come in. Roommate, here's the bathtub. This is the bathroom. Then one roommate was here, and that's my bed over there. Oh. Don't leave me. Of all the cars, the only orange car. I'm sure if I fucking would have parked my other car here, it would have survived.
Now to talk about the impact of the fire on West Maui schools and the resources available, and thank you first of all for joining us. But I wanted to start off with just how are you helping students first of all, because we know they've been through so much.
We do have a number of resources and services for our students. We stood up mental health supports for our students both in West and in Central Maui. We've partnered with HMSA for supports for our employees. We have Hazel Health resources available for our students. There's online services, apps that students can reach out and get supports from.
A number of students have opted now for distance learning again. What kind of resources are available to them, and how do you ensure that they don't miss out on too much?
Well, we have a number of students who have enrolled from West Maui into our Central Maui schools. Okay. And so we are continuing to encourage our students to enroll there. The department will be providing transportation. We're setting that up so that we can provide transportation for students from West to Central Maui. I think it's really important that as our students get into school, when they're ready, that we are able to provide those mental health services, counseling services, whatever that we need to do to provide students the resources that they need.
I don't know if there's been updated numbers, but I believe what we had reported was that the difference in the number between students who had enrolled before the fires and after, there was a difference of about 2,000 who had not re-enrolled. Is that number still accurate, and what are you doing to try to address that?
That number is still accurate. We do have
I don't know if there's been updated numbers, but I believe what we had reported was that the difference in the number between students who had enrolled before the fires and after, there was a difference of about 2,000 who had not re-enrolled. Is that number still accurate, and what are you doing to try to address that?
that number is still accurate. We do have, again, we're encouraging students and families when they're ready to apply and enroll in those schools in Central Maui. We do have folks on the ground in our shelters that we've provided packets, enrollment packets, transportation packets that makes it as easy as possible for our families to be able to provide those documents and complete those documents to enroll in school. We are in the process of standing up other kinds of activities and learning opportunities for students in West Maui. It won't look like a traditional school though. We haven't been able to open our 3 schools in West Maui yet. We'll do that when definitely we have the word that it's safe to do so.
Yeah, I think there's a concern, Keith. And again, we understand these families have gone through so much, and this might not be the priority at the time, but them not re-enrolling, and we've seen that they already missed out on quite a bit of learning, perhaps maybe from COVID. The fact that they're not back in schools, how concerned are you as an educator yourself?
Right. That is very concerning. I think, although in this particular situation, our families, our employees are going through so much. We're concerned first and foremost for their mental health, for their well-being. That's so important, and we want to be sure that when working together with families and our students and our employees when they're ready, we can help them to transition into school. In being able to talk to some of our folks, the challenges that they face is immense. And so we continue to do the best we can to help support everyone in these very evolving and changing times.
You mentioned that you're going to have non-traditional schooling on the west side. What does that mean exactly?
We're looking at possibly learning hubs, and so we're engaging with some of our teachers and educators and other partners to see what that might look like. And again, in this particular situation, so many things are changing. I don't think there's any one answer that can come from anyone, but all of us working together, I think we'll be able to provide the supports that we need for our students, our families, and our employees.
I know you talked to, I imagine, many of your teachers, your administrators, students. What have you heard from them as to what they experienced on August 8th, or how they jumped into action? Anything you might have heard?
Yeah, I was able to talk with a number of our teachers at Airport Beach on this last Monday, and that was really important. One story that comes to mind at Lahaina High School, as even though school was closed, we have boarders. 42 student boarders who board at Lahaina Luna, and when the situation occurred and the fire was raging, our principal, Richard Coroso, at Lahaina High School, and some of his staff, quickly got students together, 42 of them, and got them over to Maui High School's gymnasium, and navigating through wherever they need to get to Maui High, so that those students are safe and able to, the parents are able to come and pick them up. Also to Maui High School's gymnasium, and navigating through wherever they need to get to Maui High, so that those students are safe and able to, the parents are able to come and pick them up. Also, I think I really want to give a shout out to our principals in the Lahaina complex, as well as our complex area superintendents. Like our families in Lahaina, our educators also lost their homes. And I tell you, those principals, even though they're also dealing with their own loss, when I first got a hold of them, they weren't thinking about themselves. It was about my community, about my families, but yet they're dealing with their personal tragedies too, and as everyone is. So I think it's really important that we all continue to work together, support each other through this very challenging time.
How are you supporting those teachers who may have lost everything? Are they coming back to work, or are they just trying to deal with the aftermath?
So currently, all of our teachers, the 300 employees in that complex area, are on paid administrative leave. So.
How are you supporting those teachers who may have lost everything? Are they coming back to work, or are they just trying to deal with the aftermath?
So currently, all of our teachers and the 300 employees in that complex area, are on paid administrative leave. So one of the things that we don't want them to worry about is about their job and their pay. They need to really focus on themselves, their families, and their own health. And so they're on paid administrative leave. We are having a convening on early next week at an on-site location in West Maui to bring everyone together to provide information on different kinds of services, whether it be counseling services. There's an opportunity to get everyone together, to see each other, and to begin that process of working together.
Keith, we know it's not the highest priority, but there are people very much interested, and perhaps it could be a cathartic release to have some sports back. Is that coming anytime soon, or when do you see it coming back?
Currently, the campuses, at Lahaina High School, Lahaina Intermediate, Princess Nahiena, and Elementary, those campuses still remain closed. And we're not going to be opening them until we are assured that it's safe to reopen. Athletics play an important role in our students' well-being. Currently, though, for Lahaina High School, campus still is closed. So that's something that I think we're continuing discussions on with Maui Interscholastic League.
All right, Keith, thank you. Superintendent Keith Hayashi on a very tough subject.
We'll be right back.
Officials are being asked about what happened to the children. I mean, this is the kinds of responses that we get.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. How many children are missing? You know.
If I knew the answer to that, I would be happy to answer that.
You have no estimate as to how many children are missing?
I guess we can end this right now if you guys want. Sorry,
this is one of the biggest questions that the people of Lahaina have, but you don't want to answer.
It always takes one or two to ruin it for everybody.
Please, this is our first only.
Oh, we could say that about you. You ruined it for everyone.
You're welcome to say it. You're the media. You can say whatever you want.
You're a disaster.
All right. Okay. Please.
You've been the worst mayor we could possibly imagine.
You won't even wait.
Respect what? This is the most dismal response we've ever had.
You won't wait for your turn. You want to shout over these guys that are legitimate.
Why don't you give them the real answer?
What do you guys think about
system malfunction? Kick, drum,
bass, bass, bass,
kick, drum,
bass.